Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something truly powerful. We're diving into the stories of two people who were facing what looked like totally impossible situations. One was a man told his stutter made him a failure, and the other, a woman who felt she was just too broken to be used for anything good. And we're going to see how they completely turned everything around.
This ancient proverb really holds the key to all of it. It's this idea that without some kind of clear picture of a better future, a vision, we lose our way, we perish. So what happens when someone grabs onto that vision and just refuses to let go, even when the whole world is screaming that it's impossible?
To really get a handle on this, let's break down the core concept. What is this vision we're talking about? And how in the world does it act like a guiding light when everything around you feels like pure chaos?
This slide just frames it perfectly, doesn't it? Without that vision, you're basically adrift in the middle of the ocean, just getting tossed around by the waves of life with no direction. But with a vision, suddenly you have a lighthouse. It's that fixed point on the horizon, giving you a clear purpose, a destination to aim for, that can guide you right through the storm.
Okay, so let's see how this plays out in real life. Our first story is about a man whose dream wasn't just seen as unlikely, it was treated like an absolute joke. So get this. As a little kid, Steve Harvey gets a school assignment: write down what you want to be when you grow up. Simple enough. He writes down that he wants to be on TV. But because he had a really bad stutter, his teacher didn't just tell him it was a long shot. No, she called him up to the front of the room and ridiculed him, telling him in front of everyone that he could never do that. And for a long, long time, it really looked like that teacher was right. I mean, this was no overnight success. He bounced from job to job. He was a boxer, a mechanic, he sold insurance. He failed over and over. And then, for 3 years in his late 20s, the man was homeless, living out of his car. You have to imagine, that vision of being on TV must have felt a million miles away. So, fast forward to today. He's a media giant. And what does he do? Well, here's the kicker. Every single Christmas, he sends a brand new television to that same teacher. And he says it's not about revenge, not some "I told you so." It's so that she has no choice but to turn it on and see what his life became. He wanted her to see that her judgment had absolutely no power over the vision he held for himself. All right, now for a totally different story from a completely different part of the world, but you're going to see a theme here. This is about a woman who was convinced she was the last person on earth God would ever choose for anything important. Just try to imagine living through the unspeakable horror of the Liberian Civil War. That was Lema Gbowe's reality. She was a single mom, her country was being torn apart by violence, and her own life was a mess. By her own account, she felt totally broken, struggling with alcohol and despair, completely and utterly disqualified from being any kind of force for good. But then it happened. 5 in the morning, one day in 2002, she wakes up from the stream, and there's a voice just echoing in her head. It wasn't some complex 10-point plan. It was a simple, clear, and honestly, a terrifying instruction. It was a divine vision. And this is just such a powerful example of choosing action over self-doubt. Did Lema feel worthy? Nope, not at all. But she obeyed the vision anyway. And that one simple act of obedience, just gathering women to pray in a marketplace, it lit a spark. That spark grew into this incredible movement of Christian and Muslim women working together, and that movement was a major reason a 15-year civil war finally ended. It even won her the Nobel Peace Prize. Incredible. So what happens when you take these two stories, a comedian from Cleveland and a peace activist from Liberia, and you put them right next to each other? What can we possibly learn by looking at them together? Well, when you lay it all out like this, the pattern just jumps right out at you. In both cases, you have this massive, seemingly impossible obstacle. Then, a powerful vision comes in and acts as a catalyst. That vision is met with a response. For one, it was years of grinding perseverance. For the other, it was immediate obedience. And for both, the outcome literally changed the world. So here's the real takeaway. A true vision isn't just a suggestion that you can follow if you feel qualified enough. It's a glimpse of what's actually possible. Your background, your past mistakes, how you feel about yourself, and especially what other people say about you, none of that has to be a barrier. So that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Steve Harvey and Lema Gbowe were both trapped in situations that, from the outside, looked completely hopeless.
until a vision showed them the way out. For them, that vision became their lighthouse in the storm. And it makes you wonder, right? It raises the question for every one of us, what's the guiding lighthouse for you?